Hey guys, good evening, good evening. Hello. Woo. Welcome to Willingness Wednesday. I am your coach, BVon Squires, and today we are sponsored by Spirit Source Connection. And if you are new, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your love and support. I just really, truly couldn't do this without you. I'm just so grateful and honored to be your coach. Okay, so last week we embarked on a new series called Self Care. And how befitting that I come on today and talk about my self care that I have been practicing over the past 3 weeks or so. You know what I'm saying? I was preparing for a procedure. Now, tonight we don't have any particular you know, any particular script or anything like that. I am just having an intimate moment with you this evening to just kind of be vulnerable, which is uncomfortable but necessary. Being vulnerable allows me to connect with you and it allows you to connect with me too. And so I have been preparing for a procedure. And I know that as a multi-dimensional being, I had to consider all aspects of myself, all of my components. That's the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the physical components of who I am. They all had to be in alignment. They all needed individual care so that they could all align together because it's all connected. My spirit is connected to, my emotions. My mind is connected to my body, and it all works together in one massive unit. And so today I wanted to just kind of come on here and tell you about my process. So I had mentally, I had to prepare myself by telling myself and by knowing that the procedure that I was going to have was God's will for my life. I had to think about that because I had to feel as if I had a reason for the procedure, right? Is it necessary? Yes, it was necessary. Yes, it is necessary so that I can age appropriately, so that I can strengthen my core. I had an accident back in 2000 and it shredded my rectus abdominis muscles. And so I had to have them repaired so that I could strengthen my core and strengthen my physical structure so that I can age well, so that I can age appropriately and not walk with a walker and all of those kinds of things. And so I had to think, is that what God would want for my life, for me to age well? Well, yes, that is exactly what he would like for me to age well. And so I had his approval for the procedure. I felt like I had his approval. So that gave me some peace of mind, knowing that it was that I'm in God's will with the procedure. And so then I had to go to my emotional. Ooh wee, child. Mm-mm-mm. I had to make sure that my emotions were in check. Okay, we did a series on emotional intelligence last month. And so, if you want to go and find out more about your emotions, you can check that video out. But anyway, I had to go through checking my emotions, making sure, because I wanted to make sure that as I went into the procedure, I did not have any ill emotions. I wasn't harboring any resentment, any anger. I wasn't responding in a fearful way. I had to just make sure that my emotions were manageable, were were even kill, if you will, and make sure that I was operating with acceptance, operating in surrender, operating in forgiveness, operating in all of those high vibrational spiritual principles, so that the energy that feeds my spirit or comes from my spirit could be a healthy energy. And what I mean by that is the vibrations that we emit can be a negative vibration, such as jealousy and fear and anger and resentment, or it can be a higher vibration, which is acceptance and love and consideration and unconditional love. And so I had to operate in that. That's what I wanted. See, I was able to look forward to the goal that I had in mind. See, I had to begin with the end in mind. And the end product, I wanted me healthy. I wanted me prepared for for the procedure, and so I had to do everything that I needed to do. And so that is what I did mentally and what I did emotionally. And spiritually, I prayed, I meditated, I made sure that the people that were around me were like-minded people, people who also vibrated on a high level of spiritual principles, high level of vibrational energy. And so I also started my physical preparation for the procedure. I I decided that I did not want to have any meat byproducts or any kind of antibiotics. The meat. Oh my gosh, full of antibiotics. Full of hormones, growth hormones, and that sort of thing. And so I wasn't not eating any meat during this time because I wanted to make sure that the foods that I was putting in my body were also high electrically charged. Yes, food has charge. It's either negatively charged or it's positively charged. And so I was eating organic food. I was drinking 10 pH water so that I could make sure the water that was going through my body was alkaline, the food that was going into my body was plant based and alkaline. And then I was on my elliptical machine daily for at least 10 minutes a day, just so that I could prepare my body for the procedure. And so the procedure happened yesterday, but I was not going to miss this opportunity to come and tell you all about it and tell you how I got through it and how I prepared for it and what I'm doing now to sustain my spiritual environment, what I'm doing to sustain my healthy healing environment. And so since the procedure, oh, I have to tell you, whew, you know, a friend of mine, a wonderful person that I know, one of my little angels, um, gave me a piece of advice because she has been through surgeries. And she was very candid with me. And she said, Benita, things are not going to go the way that you want them to. And I said, okay. So I started preparing myself immediately. Immediately, I lowered my expectations. I told myself, Benita, not everyone does things the way you do. So you have to keep that in mind. People coming to help you are not going to do things the way that you do things. And so I had to fix my mind, fix my emotions, and fix my spirit in a way that would be conducive to people coming in and helping me. Now, I don't know about you, but I am one of those independent individuals. I have been independent for so long, and I had to allow myself to be vulnerable. Ooh wee! I had to allow myself to be vulnerable, and it was it was an uncomfortable feeling because see I'm the one that always wants to help. I'm the one that's always got the plan. I'm the coach, right? I'm your coach. And you can reach me at 317-721-4315, or you can email me at b.vonsquires@gmail.com. But anyway, I had to tell myself, Benita, hey, lower those expectations because you do not want to be irritated about anything. You need to be grateful. You need to be humble. And so those were the two spiritual principles or the high vibrational energies that I wanted to possess, that I wanted to emit. That is what I wanted for my inner environment so that I could receive the help. I had it all planned. I had it all planned. So and so's going to come at this day. Oh, she's going to stay with me all day, blah, blah, blah. Well, that plan fell through. And I was like, oh my God, somebody needs to be with me for the first 24 hours after this process. And I don't have anyone here. Oh my gosh. And so I decided that I was going to elicit someone else to come. Bad idea. Bad idea because even though the person was willing to help me, there was an energy about this person that is not conducive to my energy. And it did not help because I could not be calm, I could not be manageable, I could not be collected around this individual. Thank God they only stayed for 3 hours. So my plan fell apart, but by the end of the day, God's plan came together. You see what I'm saying? By the end of the day, someone that I just didn't expect. I knew God was going to work a miracle, but I didn't know what kind of miracle it would be. I didn't know who He would send. And so this wonderful, beautiful little angel showed up at my door to help me. And I cried. I cried because I was just so grateful. I cried because I knew in that moment that God was caring for me through this person. I could feel the love coming from her spirit. I could feel the genuine concern coming from her. It's quite emotional, quite emotional. And so we sat here and we talked, and I got to know more about her. And I swear we have so much in common. I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful to know that my plan isn't always the plan, right? God's plan is the plan. And if I can sit back and surrender my will to God's will, then His will take place and everything turns out perfectly, just the way it's meant. So this young lady came and brought me food, and sat with me. And it was just such a wonderful exchange, a wonderful exchange. I have a friend for life now. And I'm just really grateful for that. So today I had to go back. Last night I slept really well. And as I slept, you guys know me, I'm always programming my mind at night. And I listen to vibrational frequencies at night. I put it on YouTube and listen to meditations. 428 gigahertz vibration or frequency is a very good one as well. It definitely calms the spirit, calms the mind, and keeps you in a manageable, just a manageable state, right? And so I found another one yesterday. It was the whole, I think it's the total body healing frequency. And so I put that on last night, and I've been just permeating my atmosphere with that particular frequency. And it's so mellow. It just has you in such a wonderful state for healing. You see, when you're healing your body, you need to make sure that negativity does not come into play. It's necessary that some people will not be able to be part of the healing process. They might be good people, but they just may not be good for my healing process. So I had to be very careful about my gates as I'm healing. You see, I didn't want to heal with food or with meat in my body. So this whole healing process is going to be without meat, totally plant-based, totally alkaline, so that I can heal appropriately, so I can heal and not have to worry about any kind of infection, any kind of thing like that setting up. Just taking great care of myself, and always thinking mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. I am a multi-dimensional being, and you are a multi-dimensional being. And so I want to help you here to understand that when you are considering things, you must consider all components of who you are. If all components of who you are not being prepared for what you are attempting, you're not going to have the success that you could have. It's not going to flow as it could if things are not in alignment. See, that's what you want. You want all of your components. Um, you need to give attention to each one of them individually so that they can work together as a unit. And so that's what I have been doing, and I'm just so grateful to have gone through the procedure. Everything turned out really well. The doctor said my body responded well to the procedure, and now it's just going to take a few weeks for me to heal. And so have wrapped my mind around the fact that I need help and that I can't do things for myself, which is the first time in life, the first time in life that I've not been able to do for myself, and it's just a wonderful experience to allow God to show me his love through others. I said yesterday, God, you must really, really love me. You must really cherish me, to be able to send these wonderful people into my life and show me your love through them. Because, of course, he's not going to just come down here, and just show me. He has to work through people. And so he gathered his people and brought them to me. And I'm just so grateful that God knows where I am. He knows what I need. And I'm so grateful that I can trust him and trust his process and know that all things are working for my good, whether they look like it or not, whether they feel like it or not. I can't go by those things. I just have to go by my faith. I have to understand and know for a fact that God is working things out for my good, no matter what that situation is. And so I'm not going to stay on here long because I have to go and get some rest, but I wanted to at least come on here and tell you about my self-care. I have a lady that called me today, and so she's bringing me over some dinner. And I have a young lady that's staying with me overnight, and just here, just to take care of me. I feel so special. I feel so special, and I feel so cared for. Just grateful, guys. But most of all, I'm so grateful to be able to come on here tonight and talk to you guys and be intimate and be vulnerable and let you see who I am as a person. I need you to know that I have feelings and I know what it feels like to be vulnerable, so that you, when you call me, that you can be vulnerable with me. You know that I know how you feel by me showing you how I feel, and by me taking you through my process of preparation for all my components. Now you see how you can prepare your components for what you need to do. Remember to pray and meditate. Remember to check your thought processes, right? Make sure that there are no negative thoughts running around in your mind. Make sure that you are not in your subconscious mind, but you are in your conscious mind. And you can do that by your breathing can release you from the amygdala, so that you are not operating in a subconscious state, right? I want you to make sure that you are, you know, um, doing what's physically necessary to get you to where you're trying to go. you know, Begin with the end in mind. What is the end goal? What do you want to have happen? And then take the steps to make that happen. Self care is so important. It is so important. And we only have one body, we only have one mind, we only have one spirit. And we must protect these dimensions, or these components of our dimension, of our multidimensional being. We must protect these. We must care for these components, and they each require different type of care. And I think it's so exciting to learn about self care in all of these components. To be able to embrace all of these components of who I am is just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I want that for you too. And if you want that, then all you have to do is just call me, because I'm right here. You can call me at 317-721-4315, or you can email me at b.von@gmail.com. And I am going to say goodnight for tonight. I'm going to pray for you and ask God to bless you real good. And I know that if you are doing your affirmations, if you are manifesting those wonderful dreams into your life, they are on their way. And I just want you to know that you are blessed beyond measure and that you are loved beyond measure. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your coach. Thank you so much for meeting me here. And I will look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday at 7:15, where we will continue our topic of self-care. I'll tell you all about my week and how things have gone, and I might have some other things to talk about too. I don't know for sure, but it's still going to be about self-care. All Wednesdays for the month of September are going to be about self-care. Okay? All right, so I will look forward to seeing you again next week. I love you, and thank you so much for allowing me to be your coach. Bye-bye.